Today we're going to take a look at how to use large language models like Cloud and ChatGPT to augment your workflow in Lumu. And first, we're going to show you 3 ways that you can use this connection. So first, we're starting off on the Cloud welcome page and opening a new chat. So to begin, we have this prompt, prepare to ask Cloud to generate a comprehensive HTML report. So that's our first use case here. Now, after you click start, Cloud thinks for a second and then asks for permission to use the MCP connection with Lumu. Here you're going to click allow. As you can see, it now begins to gather incident data for the prompted time frame, 6 months, from Lumu. Using an LLM like Cloud allows you to generate reports aimed at anybody in the organization, whether it's the C-suite or the tech team. You can see Cloud's process and thinking. Now it's looking for closed incidents at this point. So once it asks for permissions, and this will happen several times in the process. Since we have chosen an HTML format output, this allows Cloud to produce something which is visually appealing too. So in this case, we've asked it to use a tech hacker style of theme. Another advantage of this process is that Cloud will begin to compare our results with the larger threat landscape, which gives you a more complete picture. So let's fast forward for a few seconds. So Cloud has now gathered all the information it needs to create the report, and it will now begin the HTML report. Again, let's fast forward while we give Cloud a little time to work on this in the video. All right, now we can see our Neon Cyber report. This looks great. It starts with an overview. We can scroll down and here it shows the threat distribution, a nice graphic. Now, here's a monthly breakdown for the 6-month period. It decided to highlight 4 months where significant detections took place. Scrolling down, here's an impact analysis showing affected endpoints, business impact, mitigation and response, security operation. All of this is really great because it can help you present the work that you've done to keep your organization safe. Now we can scroll down here to current status and opportunities. This is a useful summary of ongoing risks and what to do about them. It even includes a few big picture opportunities to improve security. And finally, Cloud has written an executive summary. Of course, here you can go on to refine and improve the report, make the tweaks that you need to, ask for different versions, depending on who you want to present it to. You can also ask Cloud to make reports in different formats, such as Word, PDF, or even create PowerPoint presentations. This gives you a small taste of the abilities that you can unlock for the report using LLMs linked with Lumu using an MCP. Now, for our other use case in improving your workflow by connecting your Lumu Defender to an LLM, we're going to take a look at how the process can expedite and improve your response to incidents. We begin here in the Cloud desktop application, and it's worth noting that this MCP connection will only work in a Cloud desktop. To speed things up, and for this example, we've already started it. So you're going to be able to read here at the top of the screen that we've already prompted Cloud to show me open security incidents from the last month. And Cloud has done that and retrieved the information on open incidents. We then asked it for critical incidents and to summarize their impact in an HTML report for my CISO in this example. And so these briefs or security reports are designed for the security team to understand the overall situation. So if you're working across several networks or clients, this could be a useful way to receive a debrief on each client, for example. So remember that the output depends on what you put in. If you want more precise report, you can create a more precise prompt. For the purpose of finding and responding to incidents, however, this is all that I need in this situation. So here you're going to see that it generated an HTML titled Critical Open Security Incidents Report. And this includes an executive summary with critical findings and key concerns. Now here it highlights the top line that we need to be aware of, such as open incidents, malware threats. In this section, Cloud has highlighted the most critical incidents that need our more immediate attention. And this gives you a great overview of how the tool is working, whether the team is on top of incidents and the current status of them in general and overall. So in summary, MCP connection allows you to create easy to read and understand debriefs to help you respond to incidents and know where you stand with certain incidents. For this other use case scenario in connecting your Lumu Defender to an LLM, you're going to see how you can use cloud for threat intelligence research in this example. So we're going to take, for example, Locky-Locker.1, which is a malware. We asked Cloud to look into this, and these are the recent open incidents it highlights. So what we did was copy one of these incidents, and we asked Cloud to give me all of the details of the malware family, IOCs, and anything else it thinks is relevant. And what Cloud does, firstly, is it refers to the incident details, the context and endpoints. And with that information, it gives me an in-depth incident summary. It then compiles a report on Locky-Locker ransomware. So here is where you get that information. It gives you the attack methodology so that you can understand the attack better. It explains Locky-Locker business model and much more here, as you can see. So it's given me a lot of context and also a lot of information about how to respond. And if we flip back to the Lumu portal now, the Lumu view is really good. It shows you the behavior. We can see the context. It's not a complex incident whatsoever. It doesn't have many context. But here we can see the endpoint that Cloud mentioned. And you might be thinking, why bother with Cloud if it's easy to use? And I think what sets it apart in this situation and in this use case is that when you go into threat intelligence, of course, we have multiverse threat intelligence data. If we have an MCP connecting to Cloud, we get all of that data summarized. But here in the external references, this is where we're using Cloud to give you an advantage. You don't need to look through all those articles individually. Cloud immediately provides a summary and a business model of the adversary, critical capabilities, so the IOCs and more. So it's more for the summary of those kind of external articles and things of that nature. This is one nice use case for connecting LLM to Lumu for threat intelligence. Here we're touching the surface, but there's a lot of more possibilities to explore. And that is the last of our use cases for connecting Lumu with large language models. I hope this has been useful for you as it inspired you to experiment and see what can be done. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check out our video about how to set up the Lumu Cloud MCP. If you have more questions, don't hesitate to contact Lumu to find out more.